Welcome back to Trail Tours. Today we are in Ibjerg and we're with two of the guys from the Turbo team. We have Morten up front and we have Gustav right in front of us. Gustav is a local guy to this trail. He lives not far from here and he's just gonna show us all the lines today. And Ibjerg, the trail is primarily blue. It's about 3 kilometers, a little over 3 kilometers, and there is some red small bits of trail, and I would say that to get the most out of the trail you really have to be, of course, comfortable on blue trails, but also comfortable on some red trails to really get the most out of it. It is really a tight trail. It's like there is not so much space and there is a lot of tight corners, as you will see later in this video. And so it's really good for technical training and just if it's your preference to ride trails like that. So as you can see, we are now getting out into the open. It's I'm pretty sure it's a red line we take here, and Morten is going on the blue line, and it's really bright, and I was way too close to Gustav going up this uphill, so I basically had to stop. So it's a pretty difficult ascent, and now we're getting into the biggest and steepest ascent of the trail. And generally there isn't really a lot of climbing on this trail. There is like one big climb, and that's what we're on now, but then otherwise it's mostly shorter climbs, like 10 or 20 seconds, and it's most likely some sprints up the climbs and not the longer climbs like this one. And the guys are just setting a furious pace up here, even though I said I want to have a little bit more of a steady pace. But now we're getting into a downhill, and this is a pretty fun downhill. Not really such a fast downhill, but there is a lot of roots, but at the same time there is a lot of grip, so you can push it pretty good. I would though say if it rains you probably have to be a little more careful, but yeah. So my previous history with this trail is that I have raced here like 2 or 3 times when I've been a little bit younger. So I know it a little bit, even though I haven't ridden much on it. So it's not, if you know me, not really my style, because I like big open and flat. And this is small and narrow and up and down most of the time. So right now you can see there's multiple lines going up this ascent, and so many routes to get around, and just going down on this downhill you can also see that there is multiple lines, which is really cool, really fun to mix it up when you go on multiple trips around the trail. And as you can see, we really see all these hairpins. So, and the reason why I don't really like it is because I can't really go with my continuous power. I really have to stop the power going into the corners and then accelerate out of the corners, and it's really just a little bit easier for the small lighter guys. But yeah, that's just an excuse. But as you can see, also the downhills are pretty tight sometimes, and this is also one of the red sections, and I would say this is more or less a black section, or at least that's what it feels like for me, because I'm not really that technically gifted, or should I say that technically good. So the guys really had to show me down the rock garden earlier this training, so thanks to them, kudos to them. And and also with the power always varying, also always going up and down. You can see it at the bottom. I have the power and the heart rate. So and you really have to be on it, because the sun really shines through the trees sometimes. And at the time we were out here filming, it was like getting late in the afternoon, so the sun was really going down, and there isn't really a lot of light some places in the forest, because it's really tight trees. So I had put my sunglasses on, which taken with me, so that was probably not the greatest idea, because I had to take them off because I couldn't see anything in the dark places, and then I was just getting totally blinded in some of the places where I got the sun in my face. But yeah, so that is definitely something to consider if it's an overcast day, or if it's about to be dark. You really have to get some glasses there that is a little bit lighter. And if it's just completely full sun and in the middle of the day, you could probably get away with some sunglasses. So just going down these fast ascents, and I was so close to washing out. I actually washed a little bit out with my front wheel, but it just gripped up the good Svalbard tires. So really happy with those. The Racing Ray in front and the Racing Ralph in the back with the 235 and 30mm internal rim. It's just a perfect setup for me at the moment. And yeah, just going under this tree, pretty hard for a guy that is basically 2 meters tall. So now we're going out into like the second part of the trail, I would say, because we're just passing the parking lot on the right. It's the second parking lot other than the parking lot that we started on, and we're just going out to the furthest part of the trail and turning around in a little bit. As you can see, multiple lines here as well. It's not really too hard, but of course you have to be awake when going down these descents, and really this corner. Again, yeah, it was pretty hard to see, but there's a little bit of sand there, so if it's really dry or has been dry for a little bit, you just need to watch out for your front wheel to not wash out. So now we're just going outside again, and it's pretty hard riding on this, because it's pretty much just some ruts you're riding in, and they're pretty steep with the berms, so it's okay, or it's great to ride around in the corners, but you really have to be precise. And you can see that around this corner, because I got way too much on the inside, so I had to put a foot down, but luckily I could get up again and follow the guys with their pretty furious pace. And now we're just going up on the last few switchbacks of the outside of the forest, and before we're going back in for the last time. And just with the sun right here, it's really beautiful actually, and with the lake, but definitely not the optimal in terms of vision, in terms of seeing. So just going into the forest again, it's a little bit of an uphill, not too bad, but we're just going on some straights right now, so that's a bit unusual for this trail because it's mostly tight corners, but you can see back to the old-fashioned tight corner, and with the sun in the face, so you really have to be on it to not wash out. And this section is, I don't know if it's a new section, but I haven't ridden it before other than today obviously. But we get over to a pretty steep descent in a little bit, and actually we will have Morten going on it because he really wanted to do the drop, and I actually really didn't, because it's a pretty big drop, and it wasn't really that comfortable the landing. So you will just see that, and after this uphill, this pretty tight uphill I might add. But I would say that the trail builders, even though I don't know them, I've been a little bit on their Facebook page, and it seems that the trail builders are taking good care of the trail, and that they are building regularly and maintaining the trail. So that's really great to see, and you can really also see it on the trail that it's really well maintained and just running well. So we see Morten right now going around on the A line, you could say, or yeah, just this big drop and pretty horrible landing. It's basically like a hug to flat, and I just went around it and made Morten to it, so he got a little bit of screen time. And just going around to this jump, and we actually took that afterwards. And I'm pretty sure you could see that in my vlog maybe, but it's pretty hard to take. You really have to go full speed around the corner to make it over, because it's pretty long, and it's also right after a corner. So we're just going into this like flowy bit of the trail, and it's some really great berms actually. There is a lot of grip, and they're just built really good, and it's a good angle of the berms. They're not too steep and not steep, and a good length also. So it's really great. But we're starting to get closer to the end. There's only about 3 minutes left of the trail, and we're just about to cross the parking lot again, the second parking lot, the small parking lot, and we're just going over it now, just with some jumps, some really nice jumps. So that is definitely something that will make the score better for this trail. I would say, even though it's not really perfectly suiting my style, I would still say it's like 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. And really, if you hit it on a good day and you just have your skills with you that day, it could really be a really fun time. And it's perfectly a mix between flow, as you can see there, with the berms and some technical parts, as you can see here. So we're just taking the red line again. You can see the blue line on the left, and just going up this short, really steep ascent. And I basically have to push 1,000 watts just to get up. I'm just going out over this drop. It's a bit of a scary drop, because you just feel like you're going out into nowhere, but it's not too bad. Just going up this short, steep, punchy ascent and going down this little bit of a drop with some rocks. So you can just roll out over that. It's more of a descent that fucks with your vision, your brain. It's not really that hard. Just going down into these berms, really short, sharp, and fun. And we're just going outside the forest for the last time, and just going out into this like grass field, and there's a little bit of like pumps and jumps, and also a little skinny that I managed to basically fall off right at the end. And you can actually see the parking lot that we started on, right with the van out there, but we're just going into the trail again for the last about 45 seconds, and with the sun in our eyes again. Just going with the guys, and we're just coming up on our last switchback of the trail. So, and then it's just basically a sprint to the end until you can either go out on a new round of the trail, or you can just go out in the parking lot. So thanks for watching this trail tour, and if you want to see more, you can just go on the channel and look for the playlists, and if not, then I'll just see you next time.